Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another episode, folks. We are once again headed back into the Scarlet Monastery. I believe this time around we're going to be doing the Scarlet Monastery Gardens. And so this is a brand new dungeon that I haven't done here on the channel. So I guess it's a brand new dungeon for this particular series. With that said, let's get inside. Tyrion unfortunately has upset some of these NPCs. I guess we're gonna... Never mind. We just need somebody to open the gate so we can go through, so we don't have to fight all of these guys. Now, as compared to the previous episode, we have lost 2 members of the last episode and gained 2 new members. Of course, that means we're going to have to rebuff and everything, so I'm just going to start basically working my way through all of the party members and rebuff them. It does appear like everybody will be a mana type character, so we're going to be placing the appropriate buff, hopefully. I didn't actually pay attention to what we recruited, so we'll see. We'll see how things go. Still, we have 2 paladins in the game. Mainly me as the healer and Tyrion as the tank. It doesn't look like he needs a lot of help. We do have, by the looks of it, I think that's a mage. Okay, no, a priest. Okay, right, so we're about to set off. We are just basically going to get ourselves ready and stuff. So yeah, this is new for me. I did used to do this dungeon when I played it back in the day, so I do want to quickly have a look here at the elf priest, just being curious. Okay, looks like the priest here is being a bit confident. So he was wondering if we could take them down without a tank, but we are all squishy because we're cloth wearers, so that's fun, isn't it? I can heal, but I can't heal that much, and if I end up getting aggro, I'm not going to be able to do much anything. So he looks like he's tempted. This is beginning to scare me. Please just wait for the tank. We have a tank for a reason. Well, good humor on Tyrion. But yeah, the priest was definitely sizing up the situation, itching there to go. Oh yeah. Anyways, this is going to be fairly easy for me, so... Or at least that's what I think. If it's anything similar to what we've done previously, it should not be that difficult. So I will try and do a little bit of damage with a little poot here and there. Little pooty poot. Poot on my enemies. Oh wow. Like, having these priests casting spells that also heal is... It's quite something. 3 priests. Like, honestly, this is nuts. So yeah, I'm just paying attention to the amount of healing that the priest attacks actually do. And that really, I mean, yeah, it's quite interesting. I suppose it makes my life easier as a healer, but it does also mean that it makes me slightly redundant. I guess I can use more of my abilities to attack. The thing is, though, what I need to pay attention for and be very mindful and careful here is not to overspend my mana, which is easily done on attacks. You know, basically the idea is don't get too carried away here. I mean, my attacks ain't gonna do much, but I guess it'll help DPS stuff down a bit. As you can see, some of these hits are actually sticking quite well to Tyrion. So I guess my help is still needed, but yeah, there's a lot going on. It's nice. It is honestly quite nice to have all these casters, and one of the reasons for that is I don't have to worry about healing the melee DPS because they accidentally got hit, which does happen quite a lot when you have a lot of melees. Melee. Which one's the right way to say it? Is it melee, melee? I've always said melee, although I've heard people go melee. It's one of those words I'm not quite sure which one is the right, if there is a right way of saying it, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there. By the way, I do like the way the Night Elf casts his spells, right? So look at... The Night Elf is the guy with the pointy ears, basically. Not the lady with the horns and not the human lady, yeah? Obviously not me and not Tyrion. The guy with the blue hair. There we go. That I should have said it that way. But look at how he holds his hands when he casts. It basically does like a little C thing with his thumb and his fingers. And that's his animation for casting spells. So basically it brings up his hands in front of his face and just does it that way. Whereas other characters have different ways of casting, like different animations, and I kind of... There we go, you can see his hands right there. It's something I noticed a while ago with the Night Elf Priest, and I always thought it was a bit fun. It's almost like he's concentrating on something but not on the task. At least that's the way I see it in my mind's eye. But yeah, look, like, well, what is that thing with the hand? Who thought that up? Honest to God. See, look, the Draenei has an interesting pose, good animation, like the way it looks. I don't think it suits the Night Elf. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's just my opinion. Like, honestly, just nitpicking right now. Okay, he scrolls down. And that XP looks so pretty. Okay, so I am, and I've explained this in the past why I call it that, but yeah, I have 3 bars of my XP bar until I gain a level. Now, this is very possible that I may end up leveling up in this dungeon. So, technically the dungeon itself is not all that long in terms of size. But it is long in terms of the amount of enemies you have to fight to get through to the bosses. I'm trying to remember. I think there's a couple of bosses here. So, there is a good chance of me getting something decent if anything appropriate for my class and role actually drops. That's the other half of the story. I'll tell you what. That they made a valid point there. So, Priest West made a joke about it almost looking like the Ghostbusters and not crossing the streams, and that's a good one. Did not think of that. So look at that. It's like that's the Ghostbusters right here. It's the Priest Busters. And I'm just going there, pooting on Tyrion's mobs. I guess I might as well start whacking them. It's just one. How much damage can he do, right? So he says until he gets killed. But yeah, we dealt with it. It was good. It was good indeed. This is actually, of all of the Scarlet Monastery instances or dungeons, actually my favorite. I do like the little corridors on the side here, and it actually looks like an actual monastery. I have been to a monastery that has like a little corridor on the side on the side of the walls, basically, kind of like what this has. It is a Orthodox, Christian Orthodox monastery, so it is an actual monastery. So it is somewhat inspired out of reality, FYI. But I do like the open garden, if that makes sense. It feels and looks like a monastery. Like I said, I've been to some monasteries, and yeah, I like it. It's really nicely put together. I like the colors as well, and generally just the whole layout. The green sky adds to it as well. Really don't like these wizards that hit everybody. It just makes my job so much harder. I wish I didn't. Ooh, hello. Not useful for me. That's fine. And if I get it, it would be nice, because I can disenchant it, then use the materials to make some enchantments. But it doesn't really matter. It does not matter at all. Alright. I'm just going to wait down here, because I think it's safer for the likes of me. I just wanted to buff Tyrion there. Make sure we buff everybody. Everybody must have this fun little buff. Oh, Tyrion's busy playing with his new... with his Scarlet Sorcerer and Wizard. Might want to take a couple steps back here. Hopefully the priests don't cross the streams. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm just gonna follow Tyrion. I vaguely remember this. Okay. Have a look around at the sky. I'm not sure what Tyrion wants to do, what the plan is, but when we get a chance, have a look at the sky, or the skybox. I like the color of the skybox, although I don't know how realistic it is. Personally speaking, I really, really like it. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to pay attention here to what's going on, just to make sure the tank stays up. If the tank goes down, we are all in a lot of trouble. Now, one thing that is good, though, so say half of the party go down, so half of the, I was going to call it raid. I want to call it raid, but it's not a raid, it's a dungeon. So let's assume there's only 2 players left and everybody got killed. So something went wrong, and almost all of the people in this group died. We all have resurrect, so we can actually resurrect the whole party, even with one player. The whole party can be resurrected, so that's kind of cool. Obviously, I'd rather not die in the dungeon. And so far, everything's gone quite well. We haven't actually hit any challenges that would indicate we are in trouble, so yeah. Scarlet Wizard. Do you know what? This is a monastery, right? Now, normally when you have a monastery, that implies a religious building dedicated to prayer for generally a deity. As long as I've played World of Warcraft, and it's just hit me now, I have never known them to make references to deities. So with that said, this early in the game, I'm not talking later on in DLCs, there are all creatures almost like deities, but they're not deities, I don't think, at least. Up, say, to the Burning Crusade, even Wrath of the Lich King. But let's talk specifically about Classic. There is no reference to any deity, so then my question is, what is the purpose of a monastery, like, say, for example, Scarlet Monastery here in World of Warcraft? I really don't get it. I'm going to have to do some reading up here, because that's got me baffled. I might be wrong. I might be, stereotyping a monastery. That's a thing. But generally speaking, whether it's a Buddhist monastery, a Catholic monastery, an Orthodox monastery, a Galactic monastery, generally, as far as I understand it, it's a place of prayer towards a god, generally speaking. So it makes me wonder, ooh, hello, main hand. I think that would have been useful for me. I should have probably needed on it, but I did get some stuff. It's going to be curious to see who gets the loot. 4 have selected greed on it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see who gets lucky to get the hammer. I got the hammer. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Just when I was saying that, it would be good to get it. It's one of those things. I mean, unless I desperately need it or think that I desperately need it, I'm generally going to avoid needing it. The only time I'll need on items in dungeons is if I think I need it and there's no substitute for it that I can get from quests and the auction house. Now, let's face facts here. On this character speaking, I have bought absolutely nothing from the auction house, or next to nothing. I think I bought 1 or 2 items, and they were the cheapest that I could get my hands on just until I got something decent. Ooh, hello, agility, stamina. Not really useful for me. But yeah, and when I make new characters, that's going to be the exact same rule. I don't want to throw money at a character I'm leveling up off of an alternative. So with that said, go back to the whole looting system table, whatever. I will generally need on items that I need, even though sometimes my choices will be odd. In my mind, what I need on it is because I think I need it. Now, I can sometimes get it wrong or misread the tooltip on it, or misunderstand the tooltip. So if I do need on something that you see here in the video and think, why the hell did you need it? That's probably just because I made a mistake or misread the tooltip, if that makes sense. So he was gonna go for, she was gonna go for one of the priests. Thank God that did not happen. Healing that would have been very, very tough. Yeah, definitely don't want to be having a priest doing the tanking here. That would be a killer on my mana. They could probably do it, but they wouldn't be able to hold aggro. And like I said, if I get aggro, then I'm going to be in a lot of problems there, aren't I? So yeah, they don't have any abilities to gain aggro or get aggro and keep it. And that's why you want to tank, really. A lot of drinking going on before we go inside the monastery. I guess we're not very religious after all. Might as well rebuff people here. Now this is, like I said, my favorite dungeon out of the Scarlet Monastery set of dungeons. And so I remember quite a bit about it. Don't remember every little detail, but I'm glad I managed to do this before I outgrew the dungeon. It's a real nice throwback to be here again and actually do it. And when I did it back in the day in what is now known as vanilla, because the game was so far along already, and obviously it had a massive player base, most often this would have been a boost run. So someone higher level would have helped someone that was a level appropriate or lower level to go through this dungeon, for the sakes of XP and gear. XP being the first and most important reason. Boosting, that's what that was about back in the day. And I enjoyed it. I appreciated the boost. Never once did I not appreciate getting a boost. But it always took away from the feel. Now, what I like about the way Classic is set up is that currently at the moment, boosting players in dungeons is absolutely not worth it unless you're just doing a gear boost for that player. You lose on XP so incredibly much. It is, yeah. So that basically encourages players of the same level to group up for dungeons that they qualify. So it makes it more fun, and I think, and I can see that Blizzard has learned from the vanilla and made certain implementations. Now, what I don't know and don't understand is this always going to be like this, or is this currently because of the 50% plus additional XP gain that we have? It's a buff. It's like a pre-Wrath of the Lich King buff that everybody gets so that they can level their characters quicker. So I hope, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's here to stay in this format because I like it the way it is right now, and that it doesn't go back to players being boosted in dungeons by leveled up characters that are super overgeared. Like the way it's right now, where you have to find groups of your level to be able to do a dungeon, I personally like. So that's just my experience and my thought there, comparing it to the past. Tell you what, priests are doing a decent amount of damage. Obviously one of them is I don't know if it's called the Holy Priest, but basically a healer, I guess. So the damage is not going to be all that impressive. Nothing really to write home about. So what Tyrion is going to do is he's going to grab the aggro of the NPCs, and then by the looks of it, bring them here. So I think that's what he's planning on doing. Alright, well that one popped out from around the corner. So that must have been a patrol. I guess I get to hit a little something something. Well, not that much, but yeah. So I think Tyrion would probably know this better than I do. I'm just going to follow his lead. Alright, yeah, so I was close enough. I guess people just kind of followed in. And yeah, there's a lot of NPCs in this room. I think there's a boss somewhere around back that we can do. I'm not sure if he's necessarily a mandatory boss for the dungeon, or if he drops anything nice, but I do seem to remember that when I did it back in the day, we always used to do it. Oh, there comes the Scarlet Champion. And ding, I got myself another level. That is pretty good for me. There he goes. These are running. Do you know what? I think playing a priest could also be potentially nice. I think, though, I'm not sure how efficient damage-wise priests are, to be fairly honest. And that is because, of course, they are cloth wearers. And unlike the warlocks, they don't really have anything to, I don't know how to word this, to basically, they don't have a pet. They don't have a way of, I don't know if they can deal with multiple targets. So warlocks will have a pet that they can use to tank. They can fear. Mages have that ability to freeze people in place, and sheep, a person, character, not person, but even a person, polymorph. And I don't know what priests have. That's a class I didn't play. So I never actually understood how or what mechanics the priest relies on for the DPS side of it. Healing, it would probably be similar to what I'm doing. Tell you what, they're doing a lot. They're pulling a lot of aggro off Tyrion, so they must be doing good damage. To out aggro the tank, it just means you're doing a lot of damage. Okay, so we're going down this corridor by the looks of it, at least for now. Things might change. We do have both sides of this particular building to clear out. There we go. So I did pull a level in these 2 dungeon runs that I've done so far, which is good. Should make going back to Stranglethorn Vale a bit easier now. Should access more quests. I don't know about more quests, but definitely give us a chance to complete the more difficult ones, the ones that have a higher level on the quest, if that makes sense, or on the NPCs we have to deal with as a part of that quest. Okay. Suppose my job's easy. All I have to do is keep people alive. With 3 priests in the party, honestly, it's not that difficult. The additional heals coming from them, believe it or not, do make a difference. I mean, I don't think Tyrion would have been able to stay alive just off the priests and the heals that they get, or they give. We got a priest there in a corner just sitting down, sipping some mana drinks. There's actually quite a few that we have to still go through in terms of NPCs before we clear out the room. I don't know if we're going to clear out the entire room or just partially. I get a feeling it would be a wise decision to clear out the entirety of the room, just because, well, if the boss decides to, for some odd reason, run around or drop aggro, or loses aggro off the tank and goes off the priest decides to run around, yeah, I can see problems coming our way. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to trust Tyrion here because he knows what he's doing. And I'm just going to keep peeps alive and just kind of go with that. So I am using the Flash of Light heal just because it is a shorter cast time and it does a decent amount of healing as well, so it just means it prolongs my mana pool, or I can use more of my mana to keep things alive, keep people alive. Okay, here we go. We are ready for this. I do wonder though what it's like to level up a priest, so I might eventually at some point in the future look at building a priest. I don't know how much I'll enjoy it, but the temptation is real. And especially after after this run, as you can see, they are doing quite a good amount of damage. And on the bright side, should I not be able to deal with it or whatever problem may occur, I think there's also another healer here. So obviously she's doing the least amount of damage. I'm after her. Him, it, they, whatever. You get the idea. But I guess in my defense, whilst I am doing some damage, I'm primarily focusing on healing. So You know, I can't do two things at the same time. So right there next to the altar, that is the boss. Whoops. My apologies, I did hit the microphone there. Alright, it looks like we are also clearing out the corners. Unless this is where the hidden boss is, so to speak. He's hidden but not hidden, if that makes sense. If you know, he's not complicated to find. It's basically two rooms either side of where the boss is in front of the altar. Which, by the way, I don't remember his mechanics and if he has anything special. I guess we will discover that as we play along. There we go, we got a heal. Alright, so they're making a little joke about forgetting to reset the dungeon, which is what happened with the first dungeon run, or in the previous video, better said. Maybe this one didn't need resetting. Still, looking at the XP, we are getting decent XP per kill. Well, now that there's only one dude, I feel a bit more braver to go and hit the dude. Okay, now dudette. Obviously, we still need to keep Tyrion alive. That is quite important. He is, after all, a key piece to this run. Alright. Scarlet Monk. See right there, a monk. To me, that's a religious role that generally implies a deity. Well, they've gone fighting in there, so I guess this is the boss then. Aha, High Inquisitor Fairbanks. And he's undead. So he does like to fear quite a bit. Greed, and hold on a bit. We greed this as well. There we go. That's the boss I was on about. That was hidden. I was just looking at what people chose for the item. Like, I can understand why people need items if it did need it, but I was just being nosy there. Alright, okay, so it looks like we're doing this side of the room as well. I guess it's best to keep everything clear. I don't know if the boss will aggro anything that's in the room. So, again, it's a mechanic I'm not quite sure of. It's not that I don't think that we could deal with it. But I guess safety is the best policy in this scenario. On the bright side, the trash, or the, I don't know, how do I word this to someone who doesn't know World of Warcraft? The NPCs that aren't bosses here in the dungeon are going down quite quickly, so damage is decent. I'm sure if we had another specialized DPSer, it would have helped a bit more. Oh, hello, somebody leveled up. Alright, he's pulling that as well. Okay, good to know. Now, I was thinking, Now, this has just randomly occurred to me just because we are in this dungeon right now. When we started playing the Death Knight class, we started at level 50. This is going many years back on retail. I do wonder if that's the level the Death Knight will start at. I don't see why that would change. Just because of how the story is developed. But it would be nice to start at a lower level, in all honesty, and get to do these dungeons with the Death Knight. Right, the mage has gone down. She's the one that's really annoying. Tyrion is the one that needs the most healing right now. I could do with a bit of healing, but I think I am fine with what I have. Should be able to survive this. I guess I'm okay for mana. I don't know how much mana I'll need or how demanding this boss is. So I think, just for good measure, I should get... Okay, no, I think we're fine. I have a feeling we're fine. I don't want to really waste an a mana drink. Okay, by the time these guys have drunk, my mana will have recovered, so I think I'm fine. It's kind of good I made the right decision there not to consume a mana drink. I keep wanting to call it energy drink, although it's not really anything to do with energy. I guess it provides mana. And our abilities and spells cost mana, so I guess in a way it is an energy drink.
Infidels. They must be purified.
Who's they? Unless he's referring to us. So this is the boss. He's gone down really quick. Oh, hold on a bit. Something's happening. Alright, well, I guess she goes down first. Alright, we've all been stunned. Oh no, I thought we were stunned. Okay, I see. So, first boss falls down, we now fight her. We're now put to sleep, and I'm guessing she will revive the first boss, and we fight both of them at the same time.
Arise, my champion.
At your side, milady.
Yep, I totally forgot about this mechanic. Obviously, she's the most important. She seems to be able to heal as well, so obviously you don't want to be prolonging this fight for more than necessary. But I think, if I remember correctly, this is the end of the dungeon. He will not last for too long. He's given himself a bubble, but it doesn't really make much of a difference, and he's decided to target someone else. There we go. I helped take him down. Ooh, that is a nice shield. Let's see what people select here. Right, Tyrion wanted the shield, so I guess I'm going to have to pass on it. I'd like to get it, but do you know what? Tyrion has deserved the shield. The helmet looks good. I will, what I'm going to do. See, right now, I do want it. I'm going to greed on it, although I think someone else is going to need on it and probably get it. But yeah, there we go. Congratulations, Tyrion, on the shield. And I guess with that said, this brings us to the end of this particular video. I don't think there's anything else left to do here but leave the dungeon room. And we'll see what is in the next video. But for now, thank you all so very much for joining me in this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. And if you did, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, as always, until next time, stay safe, folks.